is something, internal ceiling versus the external limits. It
Mm-hmm.
struck me, even like, just one of the themes in the book was what you overcome,
Yeah.
gratefully, is that many women blame circumstances. And of course, we
Mm-hmm.
could just say people, when in reality, the first ceiling is usually internal.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the most common small thinking patterns you see in ambitious women, even the very successful ones? Because you move in different circles. So,
I feel like it's like this piece about like we limit ourselves by our behaviors, by the ways that we procrastinate, right? Like, those things where you're like, it could really move the needle or really move you forward in the job you have, in your business, in whatever it is. And for some reason, you just can't bring yourself to do it. Like, you have those feelings where
yeah,
you're like, what you need to do, but you for some reason just can't bring yourself to do it. Those are those internal limitations that we create for ourselves. And
yeah,
everybody does it. It happens to us all. But it's like the deep, dark secret that none of us want to talk about because,
right.
it's self limiting behavior. Like you're your own, like you're just your own worst enemy in that case. And so I think that it's about, figuring out how to bust through some of those things because we can get really stuck in them.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And before this, we were talking about procrastination. And I've been deep
Mhm.
diving into that to even
Yeah.
break my own mind from when this is what I tell people: no matter what stage you are, you're going to face that demon somehow. And
Mhm.
people, we always talk about, Julie, the fight or the flight stage, but
Yes.
nobody talks about the freeze stage,
Right.
right? And the freeze
Right?
stage is
That's procrastination to some degree,
procrastination,
right? It sure is.
right?
And I think procrastination is like a normal state. And sometimes it gives us the opportunity to reflect or to contemplate where we're going next. But it
Yeah.
can also be really, really detrimental because it is what happens when we're on the edge of that growth. We're in the zone of discomfort, right? Where we know we're about to grow or things are going to change.
Yes.
And it is one of those funny things how with the growth mindset or a learning mindset, you have to learn things and you're never always going to be successful at them the first time. I mean, that's the reality of learning new things. And yet we hold ourselves back from it,
Yeah. But
and
what?
sometimes the outside world is like, God, I wish she would just do whatever that is.
Yeah.
And, for some reason you have a big hesitation within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've been what I've been exploring too, because I just
Mhm.
get interested in some of these topics.
Yeah.
Um to make peace with that side of yourself, because that person
Mhm.
is trying to protect you
Of
in some way,
course. Of
right?
course. And it's almost like this like outdated person to like in your life. Like, it dates back to, like the caveman days when we all needed to be protected from things, right?
Yeah.
So there's like, and it is like that voice inside your head, right, that tells you can't do things. I think there's a similarity piece to it. And that voice is meant to protect you but ultimately will hold you back, and
Exactly.
that's kind of how I think about procrastination too, right? I think for
Yeah.
all of us it's about, it's sort of protecting us, but it's also holding us back because we're procrastinating on the really important things
Mhm.
that will move us forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so how do you overcome that? I think, and what are the strategies for that is the really important piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Um and I may not be right, but I'll tell you, for me, whenever I feel that stuck state
Yeah.
coming, I have to tell myself that, okay, Julia, for where you were, that person was relevant. But for
Yeah.
where you're trying to be,
Yeah.
that identity will have to change, right? And
Mhm.
being willing to change that identity within yourself,
Yeah.
that's the key, I feel, right?
Yeah.
For progress. And it's like ongoing work. It's ongoing work.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
why, perfectionism is not your friend. And that's why I
No.
find when you are so focused on your own development, you don't have time for a lot of the other noise, because
Mhm.
it's such a it just it saturates you, right?
Yes.